What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the MusicNFT Podcast. Your boys Brock and Aaron back at it again for another week. Brock, how we doing? How we feeling?
Mate, absolutely fantastic. Fantastic to be a part of this beautiful podcast on our way to 100 episodes. The journey continues. We are just here to supply what we know about what is happening out there in the music NFT and the music industry tech land. And we just love to share. And we love to chat. Actually, I think a lot of the times we show up for each other. We're just here to be a part of this podcast together.
We do. I definitely don't want to let you down. That's why I come.
I had an interesting tweet that I read this week that went into absolutely flame the music NFT space, talking about how... Oh, sorry. Should we start again?
No. I'm like, uh-oh. No, I'm like, uh-oh. The tweet, flame in the music NFT space.
Jeez, I thought I'd lost you there for a second. Yeah, flaming the music NFT space and talking about how they felt that we're in a space where there's just too much junk out there. Like talking about people just shouldn't be posting certain things because it's still garbage. That just because you can NFT it, you shouldn't. You know, like just little things like that. Just real. The post went in depth. Like I wish I could find it again. I didn't save it obviously because it was so negative, but I was just remembering it today, and it just made me think. I didn't want to think about it too long, but then I started to ponder it because it felt so relevant in the connections of the two parts of the industry. Where, on one hand, at the moment, Spotify is literally telling you anything under 1,000 streams is garbage. And then you have this other person that's going crazy at music NFTs saying, 80, 90%, 100% of music NFTs are garbage. And then at the same time, I'm on a journey reading a book called The 80-20 Principle, where both Spotify and both this guy are actually true. Like they're both telling the truth. Because if you believe in, a positive feedback loop, which is as people succeed, they're only going to grow bigger. So 20% of the 80% of the revenue on Spotify is given to 20% of the artists. Same as music NFTs. The bigger you get, the earlier on, or the bigger you get over time, like a positive feedback loop is doing something consistently over time eventually grows into a massive snowball. Like, the way that we can compound money and we save money. These things all match up. But in the same instance, that if those people never posted, those people never did anything, neither of these markets would exist, like music NFTs and Spotify's. And I just found it so funny that a person could sit there and write something like that and not have a realization.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like, and everyone starts somewhere. It's like not everyone is releasing the next Drake track or the next Billie Eilish track. Like people start from somewhere, and especially in the height of this, this new and emerging like technology, it's like you want people to be playing around with it. You want people to get their hands dirty because that's only going to improve the space and like grow the space further. So to, I guess almost like try and discourage people from like releasing their music just seems wasteful, because it's like, what if you were telling like those early songwriters, like, what if you were telling the Beatles that their first song was trash and like they shouldn't bother? It's like, like you just lose out on that progression and that journey. So yeah, it seems weird. It seems weird to be, and like obviously, yeah, it's like sure, like the space is filled with a lot of stuff, and obviously there's only like certain amount of percentages that would be, I guess, classed as good on a blanket term. But yeah, it's like everyone's on their own journey and their own path and growing, and it's a little weird to be, trying to poo-poo the people who are trying to push the technology.
Yeah, well, to go back onto something I said in, this would be 20, 30, 40 episodes ago, a statistic that I found, it was around 60% of music on Spotify. Was it 60%? I feel like that statistic might be wrong, but it was a large percentage of music on Spotify had less than 10 streams, which just does that, but in the same instance, does that mean that music's garbage? Or does that mean that an artist, doesn't care to, this is
Just undiscovered.
This is a kind of an argument I was having this week as well on Twitter. Well, not an argument, but just like confirming something where it seems to be a lot of artists, like there's just this real blockage, I suppose, for artists where they can't get over the initial hump of wanting to post, like wanting to actually get their music out there or create their first song. I suppose that's the first roadblock. And then is my music good enough to post? And then when I finally post it, is it good enough to market? These, and this is insane to say that out loud. Like those three things don't make any sense for you to put them together, because they're literally, you put them together and you just do them all in one. You could do that in one night. You could write a song, finish it, produce it, put it out and start promoting it all in one night. Obviously, you'd have to be pretty good and still have a lot of skills to get something that's still good out in one night and do that. But you would feel like once you got over the first hurdle, the other hurdles would be much easier to get over. But yeah, FaceTime reacts. God bless. For those watching.
Do I have them?
No, never.
No. Okay.
Yeah, it feels like those next ones should be easy to get over. And by what I just said, a positive feedback loop, like that is the essence. I'm telling you right now, if you're into music NFTs or if you're in the music industry and you're looking to release music, the actual world around you, it's proven. There are natural laws, physical laws that tell you that if you continue to do these things, there's not a negative feedback loop. There is a positive feedback loop, because you are continuing to do those things. You're continuing to put them out. And of course, the bigger fish will only get bigger. We see that in the business world. We see that in the music world. But how did they start? They started as small fish. And that's what we're trying to tell you here, is that don't listen to people like that are saying that you shouldn't be in a space where there's so much garbage. There's fucking garbage everywhere. You can go to any business, any industry. We run a creative agency on this. Like, Aaron is the director of it. I'm his business partner in it. We constantly talk about garbage creative industry, like creative agencies that are out there that are somehow still employed by people, where you can just see the work is subpar and has no forethought put into it. So it's not just music. It's not just the creative industry. It's not just.
Well, yeah, it's everything. I mean, look at look everywhere. E-com, restaurants, fast food. Like there's shit out there.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it is.
People are slugging away.
Yeah. Just to go back onto what Brock was just saying, like we were having a conversation where, we have identified that posting content consistently leads to more work, more
Every
outreach. Time. People just like going like, oh wow, you guys are like doing stuff, like, and all it is posting regularly. It's
we're not getting more work. We're just showing people the work we're doing.
Yeah, we're just showing them what we've done before, what we just did, things we did years ago, everything, and they're like, wow, you guys are killing it.
And that is the essence. Crazy. Yeah, that is the essence of a positive feedback loop. We're sharing the stuff that we have done consistently. And through that, people that are watching from the outside are like, oh, that's a big, they can see the snowball building in their mind. Like it's like, what do they say? It's how many touches do you have to have now digitally? It's like 6 to 8. So like once they see you the first time.
8 sounds right.
Yeah, once they see you for the first time, then it takes another 8. Let's just say, to confirm that, for them to then become on board with you. So for you to post consistently, for you to release music consistently, for you to be part of the natural ecosystem of music consistently, these are the easy things that you can do. Like that's everything I just said's free. Like that, it baffles my mind. Like I'm so confused when I see someone release music. And as I said, I think in 2 episodes ago, that it has no streams or it has 100 streams. Like it should be easy for you to rustle up, because people don't have to listen to the whole song as well. They only have to listen to the first, like, what is it, 4 or 5 seconds for it to count as a stream, or 8 seconds or 10 seconds or whatever it is. And for you to convince people to just turn your track on and have a listen, a concerted listen to it, that should be your only goal. Like there was and again, another post I was talking about today where someone was talking about how DJs and live musicians for local venues have egos tend to build over years. It's like an employee working for you, over an extended period of time, they're going to feel their worth has become something. In the entertainment world, it's actually much bigger, because they believe, because they're entertaining the crowd that's at the venue, they believe that they're a much larger part of the business than in a lot of cases that they are. So in a much quicker sense, they become a part of that business and go, okay, well, my worth is this much. Well, why? What do you bring to the table besides I understand it, your skills, everything, it's amazing. I love it. Your reliability, all those things. But until you are personally filling the room, just a small room, starting at 50, a friend of ours started a rave 3 years ago now, in the middle of COVID, literally. And they started how they could. They started organically, got 30 people together, because that's all we could fit, we were allowed to have in a room. Then the next party was 100 people, because COVID restrictions started to ease. Next party was 100 people again. Next party was 200 people. Like, you need to play in the field where you belong, like in a sense of like, hey, don't overextend myself. But as you build those things, although like needing a party promoter, needing a venue, needing all those things will dissipate, because they'll need you, because you're putting in the work, because you're showing them, as you said, posting consistently, showing up consistently. It isn't hard to get into that 20% is 1,000 streams. Like, if that's how easy it is to get into the top percentile of the industry that we're talking to you in. Like, it isn't hard. Sure, it's hard to make a living from the industry, but to be playing in the top of the industry is not that hard. And a lot of artists out there need to wake up to that.
And even just something that I've noticed on my personal journey, I do a weekly vlog, and just like even seeing that on TikTok, every time I upload it every week, I am consistently getting more views. It's like it started off at like 50 views, next week 100, next week 200, next week 350, next week 500, next week 700. It's just like, and all it is me consistently posting, and just that equals more viewers automatically in the algorithm, because
you're posting
it's
consistent content. Like, it is, they can rely that the content's going to be similar. So you're telling a similar story to what you have previously, but with different, parties, different interests. And then you're posting it on the same day. So they know that they can rely that on that day, this content's coming. And that's all it is. I just read Daniel Allen here. This is a big player in the music NFT space. To reiterate what we're talking about here, I posted a video every day for 7 months on Instagram, and I just had my first one go somewhat viral. 270K views so far. Trust the process. That is a guy that is probably in the top 20 of the music NFT space, has created an actual standalone music career just from music NFTs, like rose to prominence on regular streaming platforms because of music NFTs. And this is a guy that has, how many followers he got on Twitter? He's only got 10K, 12K followers, but really he should have 100K because of how big he is seen in the music NFT space. But this is a guy saying, he's still, like, he's made money. He's made, let's say,
and he's still showing up.
yeah, still showing up. Made $250,000, made $500,000 in cash from music NFTs. Still showing up, still getting interviewed by the best people in the space, still getting promoted, but he is still showing up for himself because he knows consistency. He knows a positive feedback loop will eventually catapult him into a space, and because he's young as well, and you don't, that's not really an excuse. You can still be older, but it doesn't take long. We're talking 4 or 5 years of consistently showing up. If you don't just break through in that period quicker, like, is it really, if music's your life and you don't want to spend that limited amount, that is a small amount of time in the glimpse of your life to give yourself at least an opportunity to succeed. God, please.
At least. Just a little glimpse of hope.
Is that your dog in the background, PS?
So that's it. Yeah, it is. Can you hear the squeaking?
How good is it?
Apologies. She's very much wanting to play. But yeah, that's our message this week, is just show up consistently. I mean, we've talked about it multiple times, but it's just, Brock and I have like walked it and seen the results and know that the results are there, and we see it elsewhere as well. So it's not just a miracle that it happens, it's a pattern, and
a repeatable pattern.
You can also be following that pattern and getting the results that you want.
It's something that we've talked about and experienced alone, but then to have the year that we've had where results have come every single time, we've forced ourselves to be consistent. And we're not saying it's easy. It was difficult every single time that we've done it.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine now, like, I know Aaron's, the amount of work that we just put in over the last fucking 7 days individually, and, just our personal lives and stuff like that. He's got to show up consistently, edit his vlog, post it. That's all he does, is he edits videos. So I can't imagine it's something fun that he's saying, ooh, can't wait to edit that vlog today. But he knows, and we know, like for this podcast, showing up consistently, no matter what, will eventually, you apply enough force to something, eventually you'll break through. And yeah, as Aaron said, that's our message for this week. We love you. Show up, just pick something in your life, pick something in your music career to just do consistently. Just give it 30 days. 30 days, that's all. I guarantee you'll see some results.
And if you don't, come back to us.
With hate messages.
And
I just want
give you
really hateful DMs. But I want the proof.
That is it for this week. Oh, he wants the proof. We want receipts. Thank you guys so much for listening and joining us once again. We love you. Make sure to rate and review, share with a friend, and we will catch you on the next episode. Peace.